This will be your all-in-one final FPL drafts, guys. In this video, we are going to be going through a Salah draft, Haaland draft, no Salah, no Haaland draft, and a Haaland and Salah draft to see what your options are, what you can do with your team, where you can chop and change things, and who are the actual best players you can bring in terms of price pointing as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here's a stat for you guys. Over 70% of you guys watching are not subscribed. Now, let's make a deal. So in the next few minutes, if you guys get the value that you're looking for from this video, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It would honestly make a huge difference in helping me and my one-man team, bringing you guys more content throughout the season. So, sounds like a deal? Let's get into it. All right guys. Now, I initially did all of these drafts, and what I'm doing basically is I've updated these drafts with the latest news and picks basically. So that's exactly what I'm doing here, is like giving you guys the updated version of these drafts, because of course new picks have emerged with new information and like the last preseason games for some of the teams having been played. So let's start off with the Haaland draft. Now, my final Haaland draft, starting in goals, basically I'm gonna have Sals, and then I'm gonna have Duoff in the 3-4-3 formation with Tarkowski in the middle and Milenkovic instead of Mikolenkovic, which I've been saying. You guys have been killing me in the comments about that. Dewsbury Hall at 5.0, Kudus 6.5, Saka taking that place really of a Cole Palmer role, and then Verts over there with João Pedro, Haaland and Watkins in the strike force. Now, I would play a bench boost, and I've done a bench boost draft specifically because I wanted you guys to be able to see this and be like, oh wow, I love this team. And since I'm deciding not to play bench boost, I can actually drop and, you know, cut this player and put him down and actually be able to shift money more into my starting 11. So on the bench, I've put Areola there against Sunderland, Anderson against Brentford, Van der Ven and De Kuyper from Brighton. And this is what I love about this team, the fact that it's bench boostable and you can move money from the bench into the team where you feel like, wow, I actually like this team. I think structurally you've got the bright players in terms of defensively. We've got 5.5s, we've got a 4.5 as well, and we can move money from the bench and maybe take one of the 5.5 defenders, maybe a Tarkowski if we want to, and move him into a 6 million defender, as well as if you're also looking at like, yeah, I'd rather upgrade Dewsbury Hall and put him up to a Rangers, you absolutely can. But I know there are those of you who actually will be bench boosting, and that's what I've done with all of the drafts that we're going to be talking about as well. So stay tuned on the channel, on the video as well. You'll be seeing me on my socials dropping more of the actual drafts as I'm going to be talking through them. So yeah, the strike force, nice, packed, powerful. Again, you can change your Ollie Watkins if you want to, drop him down if you want to get some more money, and maybe to a Bowen if you want to as well, and upgrade him elsewhere. And I think that's the beauty of the structure of the team, is where you feel like I love this team, I would just want to put some more monies elsewhere. There are players in which where you can actually make those chops and changes, but I just feel like with the players I've gotten here, I feel like in terms of fixtures and bench boost as well for Gameweek 1, I think they're very great. You can go into the actual season in, as well as not having to wildcard early just to try and bring Salah in as well. I think this Haaland draft can carry you definitely past six game weeks to maybe the first window of a wildcard being game week 7 as well. So yeah, that's the Haaland draft for me. Now let's take a look at the Salah draft, which has very slight minute changes, of course, because you're swapping Haaland and Salah. And the changes, let's start off in goals because I have timestamped this as well. So a lot of people will skip and go to the different thingies. So I'm just going to read it out as well again. In goals, I've gone Sals again. I love Sals' fixtures, honestly, and the mere fact as well as Areola as well. For the bench boost really works well because he's playing Sunderland, and that's why you see that duo again in this fixture, but not this fixture, this draft. In the defense, I have gone different. Instead of Milenkovic, instead of Milenkovic, I've dropped him down to a Nico Williams, just to show you that flexibility in what you can basically do with the drafts, and which is what I was talking about in the Haaland draft. Tarkowski, kept him because of the DEFCON as well. We all know that he's a real good beast. He's got a good first fixture. Duoff, great attacking player, again at 4.5. Reinders, who I was speaking about again in terms of who you can upgrade from a Dewsbury Hall if you have that 0.5 extra. Kudos, of course, I love him because he's got the good fixtures, had a great preseason as well with Burnley, with Tottenham. Cole Palmer there, showing you that you can have a Cole Palmer, of course, if you have that 0.5 extra, and very different from the Haaland draft, which had a Saka instead of a Cole Palmer. And then of course you have your Mo Salah. Then in your strike force you have the highly owned João Pedro, Bowen and Watkins. And then again on the bench boosting this team, you have, as I've mentioned, Areola, Dewsbury Hall at 5.0, really great enabler basically, Van de Ven and Kuiper as well. And again, it really depends on your strategy and the direction you want to go with, but there's a wide variety of players in that 4.5 range as well. And again, you can really move and shift the money around if you want to go with a different approach here when it comes to your strike force and your midfield, and maybe moving Bowen price point into the midfield and upgrading maybe a Reinders or a Dewsbury Hall to another 6.5. Yeah, and again, this is really just to show you what you can do with this draft as well, and the difference between the final Haaland draft that I created and the Salah draft. And again, making this bench boostable for those who are deciding to bench boost in Gameweek 1 like me, and also showing you that, hey, the money can be moved from the bench into the team if you want to as well. But bench boost Gameweek 1 is possible for you guys. So yeah, happy with the players' fixtures. Again, of course, you've got Salah, no need to necessarily wildcard. I think if you save the transfers and Haaland goes off, you guys won't have to wildcard. You can just move Salah to Haaland with saved transfers from game weeks 1 to 3 or 4. I think you'll need like 3 transfers really to move from like a Salah to a Haaland. But yeah, let's look at the Haaland and Salah draft and see how you actually would have to see where you have to sacrifice. So a final Salah and Haaland draft. Now, reading it from starting the beginning as well, we've got a Sanchez in goal, 5.0 price. Goalkeeper, again, just showing you who you can be and move to. I'm very happy with his fixtures as well as Cells, so it really depends on you who you would like to go with. Areola, again, there for that bench boost option as well, because he's got a great fixture for me at 4.5. Can't see any other one I would pick at 4.5 to bench boost. Showing you again another variation with Pedro Porro there as an option at 5.5 in terms of price point. We had Tarkowski in the Salah and Haaland drafts, but I really love Pedro Porro with that Burnley, with Maddison being out as well, him being on set pieces, and Kudos also in the previous drafts also being on set pieces from the other direction, because he's left footed. So really great picks there when it comes to Tottenham Hotspurs. Milenkovic in the middle, DEFCON points monster as well. Kilman as well, DEFCON points monster, 4.5 as opposed to the Diouf option and Wan-Bissaka. So you're looking at more a set and forget here really. But Kilman being there more so because of his first fixture more than anything else. The West Ham fixtures aren't necessarily all that great. Reinders, of course, because he's been doing well. It's really been a competition between him and Anderson, but I have them both in this draft because remember, you have a Haaland and Salah, so you have to have a compromise somewhere. And along with that, in the midfield, I've got King, 4.5 million option, who's really emerged for us because he's been playing in that 10 role for Fulham in the preseason. So I think he's basically another enabler that's really allowed us to be able to have this draft, whereas before we had a Mark Guehi who moved from Chelsea to Sunderland, which was a really beautiful gift for us, but he's flagged at the moment right now. Plus, that being the case as well, I don't think he's going to be playing in game week 1. And remember, I wanted to make a bench boost game week 1 team for you guys so that you can see where you can actually move money from your bench into the actual team, or if you just want to go with that bench boost 1 game week, you can actually do it and show you that it is possible. Going on, of course, Salah, we all know him, nothing much to say. João Pedro, highly owned, even more so than Salah as well in the game now. And then Jared Bowen as well, another player who's got a really high XG when it comes to the West Ham, soaking up really a lot of that goal involvement. So you know a lot of things go through him playing in that strike role. That's why I really love him, and the fact that he's in my drafts a lot. But he's one who, again, you can take money from and really spread it out into the team if you feel that there's a bit too much compromise in this draft. And you'll notice that I don't have any 4.0 defenders because, again, building this team for bench boost, I wanted to pick players who I feel like their teams are ready for game week 1, can hit the ground running and actually get you some points or clean sheets. And I just feel like the 4.0 options right now in defense and goalkeeper, I don't have any faith in them giving us clean sheets. So yeah, you'll see that I went with Konsa and Van de Ven there, Burnley and Newcastle against Aston Villa. I don't think Newcastle's ready to start the season, and I think Aston Villa, having had a great preseason, they're going to give them a very good game. Aston Villa being at home as well, and Newcastle playing away, I think they'll struggle. I think Gordon as well had an injury. Not sure. I need an update on that one. So yeah, I just feel like Newcastle is another team to necessarily target. They don't necessarily have the best fixtures as well. So I've seen a lot of people with Bruno Guimaraes in their team, but I don't think they've had the right information in terms of how Newcastle as a team is doing currently right now and how they've been preparing in preseason, having a lot of that Isak drama as well. So I don't think the Newcastle assets right now, based on the fixtures and the drama, is the team to go for to start off with, really. But this is my Haaland and Salah draft. Yeah, I'm very happy with the players as well, and Dye being on penalties I think is a really great option. Also with that front line attack being boosted with Grealish and Dewsbury Hall, I think the team's going to do very well in their first few games as well. So yeah, happy with that one. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section as well. Remember, the league code is at the bottom over there in the headlines. We got one more draft to go through. Also make sure, if you want to see more content of mine as well, or short snippets, you can follow me on my socials and you can see that all together. I do like to clip them as well in this frame that you can see. Now let's go to the no Haaland and no Salah draft, which is actually my current draft. So we're going to be going through my final draft. Okay, now the final no Salah and no Haaland draft, this is my final current draft for FPL Game Week 1. In goals I've got Sels, and I'm pairing him up with Vicario. I do love the rotation for those two guys going up until game week 6, where I do want to bring in Henderson, where the rotation really starts to look great with Sels. Crystal Palace starting to play Sunderland at that game week, so that's where I'm thinking. Remember, I've got no Haaland and no Salah, so I got money, and in this draft I got 0.5 in the bank as well. So going into the defense, playing 3-4-3, of course you've noticed the trend in the formation. I've got Pedro Porro 5.5, Tarkovsky 5.5, and I've got 8 Nori as well at 6 million. Marmoush in the midfield there with Kudus as well, and then Saka, who I preferred over Cole Palmer, but again I got 0.5. If I want to, I can really bring him up to a Cole Palmer, so it's really up to me. Being an Arsenal fan, I just have to have some skin in the game when it comes to the Gunners, you know. Yeah, I really do. And it's not to say that I think Saka's the man as opposed to Gyökeres. I just know that he's definitely secure for minutes in terms of the penalty debate. sorry about that. In terms of the penalty debate, look, as it stands, Saka's got penalties until we see proof that Gyökeres has penalties. All right. So I just felt like, look, I'll pay that 1 million more for Saka. Verts over there, not gonna say covering me necessarily for Liverpool, but yeah, number 10 role, highly involved on set pieces, I think is a great cover for Liverpool attack. João Pedro to cover me more as a shield in terms of high ownership. Jared Bowen, told you how much I love him. Ollie Watkins in the front line. Sorry, need to cough. Okay, cool. Talking too much, too fast. On the bench, I got Vicario, of course, Dewsbury Hall at 5.0, Neco Williams, and then Diouf there. And that I would bench boost. I'm really happy with it. Playing against Sunderland, Brentford at home, Leeds as well, and then Burnley. I'm very happy. You can see I'm actually targeting the promoted sides. I just feel like with this double chips, I think bench boost game week 1 for me is a strategy to go with. I think it just allows me to be more flexible when managing my squad going into the season, and we're all different, really different managers. So yeah, this is a squad that I've played with, and it's allowed me to actually even bring in Bruno in game week 3 to captain him. Game week 1 captaincy, I'm thinking of Bowen right now because of how much he soaks up the team's goal involvement. Very much almost at pretty much 50%. So Verts is an option as well as Saka, but because of Bowen's goal involvement and the fact that he's playing a Sunderland team, yes, it's away, it's not necessarily all that great, but I think he's a great game week 1 option if we really put our minds and take away Salah, take away Haaland, and even take away Cole Palmer out of the players that we have there. I think he's a great option. Mamouche is also another option, which is what I really love about this draft, that you have those options. And I think, you know, we've been so in the past few seasons in FPL, captaincy has been easy for us. We just got like, cool, Salah, oh cool, Haaland's the man for the season, put it on him, everybody else we just, and so it's really easy. But I think when you're going against the crowd, which is not what I'm doing for the sake of it, but in essence really what I really want to do with this draft, I think there's a time to go against Salah, and I think it's when his fixtures are not all that great, and his first fixture is really great. But I always ask myself, well, if you just take those 2 fixtures in game week 2 and 3 and you put them first, would you start off with Salah? I'd be like, no. Well, then fine, then, you know, go against him, because that's exactly what you're going to be doing, and just find a great captain for game week 1. And hey, after Salah, for me, Haaland is the next best captain, but he just doesn't allow me to have a lot of the assets which I really want. And I also have a route with this team to bring in Haaland in game week 6 when he has Burnley as well, where I'm actually thinking of triple captaining him, but that's going to be based on his form and the actual team's form. So yeah, for me guys, yeah, that's my no Haaland and no Salah team. Again, you can see it's 0.5 in the bank. You can move a whole lot of players around, so nothing is stuck. In terms of players who are locked, a lot of them are locked. I think probably one player is not locked, and that would just be to move things around, you know. But very, very happy with this team, in all honesty, not gonna lie to you guys. So guys, that is it from me. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. Really does a lot for the channel. Thank you so much for the love that you guys have been showing, the love, the likes, the comments. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be here dropping some more content for you guys, chip strategy and my team selection as well. So I'll see you guys in those videos. But in the meantime, if you want to check out some more of my videos, please check them out over here as well as over here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.